G'day. Today I want to talk about heart failure and how it can impact retirement. At 32 years of age, I had an operation done on my heart. I had open heart surgery for a leaking mitral valve. Now, when I went under, I was expecting them to replace that valve. However, when I woke up, I found out it was my lucky day and they were able to do a repair, which involved putting a small metal ring in and around the mitral valve and tightening it up. And they told me that this should last 15 to 20 years. Well, 35 years later, the valve's still doing an okay job. But over the years, my heart has got a lot weaker. It's got become enlarged and that, and it's not pumping as well as it used to. Hi, I'm Baz. Thanks for watching The Apprentice Retiree. About 16 months ago, I ended up in hospital for the first time in the last, since that original time when I had the open heart surgery. My heart had gone into atrial fibrillation and the ejection fraction had dropped right down to 15%. Now, a normal healthy heart, the ejection fraction should be around 60 to 65%. And this ejection fraction, it's a measurement that they use to measure the how well the heart is pumping. Anyway, they did the operation, and it took me about, I was running my ice cream business at the time, and I had to close it down for 3 months, and until I was strong enough to get back into the work. Now, prior to this, 2 to 3 years ago, I was doing 5 or 6 events a week. After this operation, I was doing, when I got back into it, I was doing 2 or 3 events a week. So this has been a big impact on my retirement. I always thought that, I could run this ice cream business as a retirement gig. That was the original plan when I started it 5 years ago. But having the heart failure has really kind of put it's made it hard. I've had to just recently, over this last couple of weeks, I've had to cancel an event and pull out of an event and cancel my next events for the next 5 or 6 weeks because of my heart failure. I've got to the stage where I just didn't feel well. This was around Christmas time. And then I'd have a few days off and I seemed to come right, and then I'd do another event and again I wouldn't feel well afterwards. So it's impacted my ability to earn an income during my retirement. I'm still hoping that with rehab, I can get it back up strong enough that maybe I can carry on and just do 1 a week. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. And I know the hot weather here hasn't helped. It's had a big impact on my heart. Secondly, heart failure has impacted my ability to enjoy my passion for motorcycling. I just got back into motorcycling 2 to 3 years ago, and not long after I bought my first bike, I was able to do a 1,500 kilometre road trip down to see my son in Albany. I stayed with him for a few days, and then I continued on back home. Now, at the time, I was pretty tired and pretty shattered after that road trip, especially the first day going down there. I probably covered 650 kilometres on that first day. But, after 2 or 3 days of rest, I felt strong enough to ride back home again. However, now, 2.5 years later, I'm struggling to do a 100-kilometre ride. It takes a lot out of you. And I guess, again, the heat probably doesn't help. I've got to choose the days when it's a bit cooler. I'm just hoping that I can continue riding my bikes, for a while yet, because I really, really enjoy getting out on them. It's a great escape for me. And it's something I was hoping to carry on enjoying throughout my retirement years, but we'll see. The third way that it's impacted me is getting jobs done around the house. I used to do a lot of painting, things like that, but I really struggle with any of that type of work now. So I find that pretty frustrating. I've just really got to, if I'm going to do something, I've got to work on it for a short period of time, have a break, leave it for a day or so, and then get back into it, which makes it pretty hard. This next thing is probably what I find the hardest, and that's the impact that heart failure has on my mental well-being. Like when after having been in hospital 16 months ago, they put a pacemaker in and they jump-started my heart and got it out of the bad rhythm and into sinus rhythm. And then with rehab, I started feeling stronger and stronger. And after about 3 or 4 months, I was feeling really good. And so, I was starting to think about making plans to travel overseas and making plans to do these long road trips on the bike again. And then recently, I guess it's been a culmination of the really hot weather and working. I haven't felt so great, and then I kind of feel down. It really knocks me. I end up taking a lot of these plans off the table. I get demotivated, and that's been probably the biggest impact on my retirement years. Just the ability to, losing that ability, I guess, to plan ahead, because while I'm not feeling well, I kind of I just lose a lot of motivation. I don't think it's depression, but it's probably close to it. I come out of it. And generally with my heart failure, when I take it easy for a few days, this last episode, I had to take it easy for probably close to a week before I started feeling okay again. And I'm happy to say that for the last 4 or 5 days, I've felt pretty good every day. And I'm hoping that's going to continue as long as I kind of keep on taking it easy. Lastly, another impact it's had on my life, my retirement, is the ability to stay fit. Throughout all my life, I've always enjoyed running or a bit of weight training. I did martial arts for many years when I was younger. And it was probably 8 or 9 years ago when I was out on a run and I experienced my first lot of serious heart failure. I ended up collapsing at the end of this run, and it took a few days for me to feel good again. And since that first occurrence, it's become probably more regular. And yeah, so it's got to the stage now where, well, even after that, I gave up running after that first serious occurrence. And I now I try and get out and walk as often as I can. I find that really helps. That was probably one of the main parts of my rehab 16 months ago when I recovered from that surgery, from that stint in hospital. I also want to get back into light weights. I tried about 6 or 7 days ago, but I found even working with 1.5 kgs was taxing on my heart and left me feeling not very good that night. So, you know, it's a bit of a balancing thing where I've got to judge whether I feel I'm okay to start pushing it, working with a few light weights again. But I know that will definitely, in the long run, it will help rebuild my heart strength. I guess it's been a lot of doom and gloom, but it's not always that way. And to finish on a positive note, I mean, I feel really lucky that I've had 35 good years, pretty good years, where, you know, heart failure, I've probably had it now for the last 10 years, but it really hasn't impacted me a lot until the last 2 years. And I'm really thankful for that, because I know of people, I remember a cousin of my wife's, back when I had the repair 35 years ago, he had a mitral valve replacement, and it lasted a couple of years, and then he had another one. Well, he was dead within 5 years. And so, yeah, I count myself really lucky that at the time they were able to repair my valve, and it didn't require a replacement. Anyway, look, I hope this has been helpful in some way to people. If people want to hear more about this, my experiences with heart failure, then please subscribe and I'll know that there's some interest there. Otherwise, be happy. Please feel free to leave a comment. You may have had similar experiences or experiences that you want to share, and I'd love to see. I'd love to hear about those experiences. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.